Welcome back to another workout. This one is calisthenics based, a combination of rings and weighted. You're going to love it. Push only, let's get right into it. Starting with weighted ring push-ups. These will challenge you like no other, given the instability and freedom of movement. You get more range of motion. Your arms are coming out and in, performing the main function of the pecs, humeral adduction. Fully converging, stretch and squeeze. You can't get better than this on a push-up. It's very comparable to a deficit push-up. But now you're stressing all the joint angles, not to mention being easier on the joints since you can rotate your hands. Here, my first set is with 135 pounds. Bunch of 10-pound plates stacked in there. And I will say, it was brutal. Like normally, I'll do 150 to 160 off the floor. So although rings are slightly unstable, and you'll especially see that on the final rep, form could eventually be mastered. Keep in mind, I am not a specialist. I'm just trying to show you what's possible and where I'm currently at.
That's heavy.
So if I can get a nice stimulus in, so can you. And certainly, you don't have to go this heavy. Truth be told, if I would have just stuck to 90 pounds and done higher reps, everything would have been cleaner. Regardless, I do the classic top set, back down set, going to failure. My pecs were screaming, and you can clearly see the effort here. To me, this was more in the volume as an introduction, and keep in mind we're going to increase that through other means later on. So one final pro tip I can provide is to put chains in your backpack. This way there's less lateral shifting, which did happen to me a couple of times. So if you're misgrooving, just take a small break, rest pause it. You should be able to get at least one more. Also, ensure the backpack is high up on your upper back, not your butt. Otherwise, you're cheating yourself.
Rings will humble you.
For the second exercise, we move on to pause RTO ring dips, which stands for rings turned out. Very simple. When you're in the bottom, you press out by fully supinating, underhand grip, and bring the rings as close as possible together. This is what intensifies the shoring contractions, and in general, there's just something about that rotation that believes your strength like no other. Like I can do 120 pounds on a regular ring dip, arms not really converging that much. But with body weight only, I feel like I don't have to go weighted, especially when mixing in these pauses. You hold the bottom for a good 2 to 3 seconds and you're going to be in unbelievable pain, as if your chest is about to tear right off. I know that sounds extreme, but anyone who's done this can attest to what I'm saying. You see the separation, you see the pumping, the striations, like it's unbelievably painful. And there's no way you'll be getting high reps this way, which I absolutely love. You might be in the 5 to 8 rep range. Perfect. The less central fatigue we can accumulate, the better. And I would also argue this forces you to further control your form, which is never a bad thing for rings. We want less speed and jerkiness, this way the straps won't sway, thereby maximizing technique. Speaking of which, you may notice I'm not fully depressing at the top, as in being 100% upright and having no shrug whatsoever. I don't feel this is necessary for hypertrophy, so I view rings in a similar light as cables or dumbbells. To me, it's another specialty bar, if that makes sense. And if you just follow your own natural scapulohumeral rhythm, you shouldn't experience pain. What matters is progressive overload and maintaining generally acceptable safe form. Oh, and I went weighted because why not? That's what I normally do on my volume work. I just wanted to see if I was still able after being tired out from all those RTOs. It was a last minute decision. I'd recommend starting weighted if you plan on doing this. Now for the third and final big press, we're doing paused deficit handstand push-ups. Originally, I was going to do this off rings, but I'm not strong enough to do that, and chances are 90% you can't either. So know that that's something you can work up to in the long term. Might take years, who knows. Either way, this is more than sufficient. We're getting a complete range of motion. Notice how my head is way past my hands. There's actually more arm band than an OHB and dumbbell shoulder press. And when you hold it in the most difficult position, it makes you even weaker. So if you can normally do 3 sets of plus 10 reps, good luck even getting to 10 on your first set. That's how hard this is. And I recommend having your belly face the wall. This way, if you feel like you're gonna fail, you can arch your back a bit, incorporate some of that upper chest, which some guys have said that's a con, but who doesn't want more upper chest? Me, man. That's like one of the most common weaknesses. And there's enough ROM for the delts. Plus, 100% vertical is not how you fully lengthen the anterior delts to begin with, so this is a better exercise. Stop with these regular standards, guys. If you just want to get big, you got to look at weight training form and apply it in a body weight context. And my way is super low skill. Just drag those feet up and down, little balance is required, pure dummy strength. Just try, you won't go back. Over here, we're not trying to be specific to the freestanding version. And for triceps, you know we have to isolate. A lot of torso dominant lifters in the calisthenics community, this is why. But luckily, bodyweight extensions are a thing. Here, I set the rings rather low, and I elevated my feet on plyometric boxes. This way, my body's angled downwards, which intensifies the leverages. These are very hard, and most people will not be able to get even 15 repetitions. So, if you can't do it from this angle, I'd recommend elevating the rings and having your feet be on the floor. Like if I were to compare this to lifting, it's as if you're doing skull crushers with well over 100 pounds or doing 40, 45 pounds on the dumbbell version. And actually what's great here is the fact that the rings move with our elbows, which is perfect from a joint integrity standpoint. Maybe you couldn't handle the traditional bar bodyweight extension. These will be right up your alley. So you're going to feel mostly triceps with some core. Amazing exercise. And you can eventually work up to elevating your feet even higher. The ultimate level is doing this in the handstand position. Like, can you imagine what your tries would look like? So don't tell me that you can't build big arms with calisthenics. It actually works quite well when you do more than just dips and chins. Simple, creative hacks can revolutionize your body weight training. Heck, even the pausing is making a massive difference. Your triceps are going to be hurting. And then to finish off this workout, but particularly the triceps, and to have a stable press in, we're doing 20 down decline diamonds. So in my experience, after doing down workouts for the last 2 years, I've gotten so good at them that it's not really worth my time to start off. Like you see me do 25 down dips. I think the max I'll push that to is 30 down. But for the push-ups, it's just not efficient. So me doing well over 500 reps, generating that additional central fatigue, not happening. Unless you guys want to see it as a challenge or whatever. But the best way of approaching down workouts, and this is what I really recommend for most of you, is simply end your calisthenics session with it. So whatever that muscle was, the weak link, or if you feel like there's a bit more juice for something, go ham. And like I'm always saying, it doesn't have to be the basic push-up. This is diamond, which is already more difficult on the tries, and they're pre-exhausted from the extensions. And then with the feet elevated, there's more ROM. Now it's not a true like steep decline, but it's enough that 20 down is rather challenging-ish. So here you're going to want to rest 30 to 60 seconds between sets. Yes, lower rest. It's as if you have a training partner. He goes, you go. When you're this far into a session, you're already tired. You went weighted, added in rings, isolated. Trust me, the pumping is next level, and you ensure that there's nothing left inside you. Like after this, my triceps were completely wrecked. Like just bending my arm, trying to get 5 push-ups was difficult. So that's how you know you succeeded. The effective reps start to kick in towards the end of this down workout. It won't happen right away because you're far from failure, but eventually your reps start to slow down. So you may notice I always begin with a super fast tempo, but after about 5-10 sets, that's not happening. So yes, you could intentionally slow down that negative if you so choose to. Nothing wrong with that. But I think it's going to happen regardless. You might as well pump it, go, 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 get it over with as quickly as possible, and enjoy those last couple reps. So you see right here, final set. No need to rest that long, and that's it. Complete calisthenics push workout. Hope you give it a shot. Let me know if you want to see a pole segment next, and I'll talk to you all in the next training video.